Doesn't look like boat work around here.
Get in, Deanie. We're going on a road trip.
All right.
News while it is news. Your friendly mobile gas and mobile oil dealer brings you latest news and a suggestion to help make your car last longer.
So we're heading east. We're going out to Idaho, which seems like an unlikely place for two sailors considering it's quite landlocked, but we're actually going out there to pick up a boat part. Like many of our stories, this one begins with an email. The email was from a man named David, who lives in Idaho, said he enjoys the channel, and that he has a water maker in his garage that we're welcome to if we can arrange to pick it up. A water maker is one of those items that can change a sailor's life, and so we decided to set off on a road trip into America to meet with David and his wife Kathleen, and along the way, we'd get a chance to see a bit more of this country. Our route would take us along Highway 2, starting on the coast, climbing high over the mountains, descending down past sparkling rivers and misplaced towns.
Deren til Wilhelm Tell founded Switzerland. Come, I show you.
Along deserted highways and past wide open fields.
Is this pasta?
And into tiny villages with a Wild West feel. I believe dinner is served. I was excited. So we're pretty much over the mountain. That was tense, honestly, for a moment. Miniature Grand Canyon. Washington has it all.
Not grand, miniature canyon.
All right, let's go. We are on Highway 2, headed east. This would be a 3-day journey, 1 day there, 2 days back. We wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to stop at anything interesting along the way. We were in search of some classic Americana. And as luck would have it, before we even made it over the mountains, we found some.
It's a coincidence, I swear! There seems to be a classic car show-off right there, so...
Show off?
Well, what do you call it?
I guess it's kind of that.
What do you call it?
Well, it would be a classic car show, but show off works just as well.
We're taking the turn and we go check it out.
This is actually hilarious. So part of our goal for this trip was to create like a little Americana style road trip. And we were actually talking about all the things we could film along the way. We're like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a car show or something with classic American cars? And we might have just accidentally found that. One of the great things about traveling is that it gives you an appreciation for what's unique in each place that you visit. After living and traveling in Europe for several years, I now look at North America with new eyes. There's a lot of stuff about this place which you just don't find anywhere else. And out here at this car show, it seemed like a certain section of the American spirit was on full display. Alright, American road trip off to a very American start. We got a long way to go today. Let's go.
Vroom vroom. Leaving the Ford Mustang in the dust.
Oh, look at us go. But we did have a long way to go still. A steep mountain pass lay in front of us, and frankly, I was a bit nervous about it. I didn't have 100% confidence that my car was up to the task, but would just have to give it a shot. It's okay, it's only done it in 5th gear. So the amount of maintenance that we put into our boat, we do not put the same amount of maintenance into the car. And I'm really hoping we get there, because it's doing a few kind of funny things, but we're still moving. And this is a big hill, so we'll give her some forgiveness. This is a pretty big hill.
Stevens Pass.
Fingers crossed.
She's doing just fine. But car for sale. Anybody interested?
Somehow we made it, but there's a few things I'll definitely need to check out with my car once we hopefully make it back home.
And there's blue skies on the other side.
As usual, this side of the mountains is always great.
It's pretty much the same story whenever you go to Switzerland to Italy. All the clouds get stuck in Switzerland, and Italy has the best weather.
It's been the kind of year I'd be fine if I forgot it. But I'll never forget it as long as I live, and that's saying a lot.
Oh no, Maya's ended up in a candy store again.
Unfortunate, crazy things. It's all over.
How is it? Is it real Swiss chocolate?
No. But it's good.
All right, onwards to Leavenworth.
It's certainly worth leaving.
You haven't even seen it yet.
We'll see about that.
I think it's gonna be cool, but weird. Anyway, you'll see in a second.
Cool.
We had planned a lunch stop in a town that we later found out is actually pronounced Leavenworth. Anyway, we had read a little bit about the town, and we were skeptical, but decided to stop there to check it out. Well, we are in Leavenworth, and this is not at all what I've expected so far, so let's go have a look.
Oh my god, the Alphorns just arrived. Wow, we are so lucky. We might hear some of this in the making in a moment. And then all the cows follow.
Is every Swiss bone in you just vibrating, Aladino?
Do I have Swiss bones? So much for our Americana road trip film. Somehow, we had ended up in a German village in the mountains. Ein schöner sonniger Tag, ne? Perfekt für ein Bier.
For you, I'm driving. You may assume, like I did, that Leavenworth is an old town originally settled by German settlers and now turned into a fun, if not out-of-place tourist attraction. But you'd be wrong. The town started out in the late 1800s with the name Icicle Flats, a logging community that did very well for itself until the trees ran out. After spending several decades on the brink of becoming a ghost town, the town council had a brilliant idea. The surrounding mountains were just like the Alps, insomuch as they were mountains. So why not complete the picture and turn Icicle Flats into Leavenworth, a Bavarian village in Washington's Alps? So that's what they did.
Dort auf diesem Berg hat der Wilhelm Tell Schweiz gegründet.
You want to translate?
Up there on that hill, Wilhelm Tell founded Switzerland.
Come.
I show you.
This is Bavaria though, Dean. We're not in Switzerland.
I don't know.
I don't think either do they.
This is America. I don't know.
All right, was not expecting this on an American road trip, but let's dive in. So, Aladino, I think you owe the people an explanation. Are you Swiss or are you Italian? What is your story? Because I know people are quite confused.
It's a weird mix. I am who I am. I'll never get an answer. I grew up in a very Italian household in the German part of Switzerland, speaking Spanish at home, so it gets very confusing.
So we're leaving Leavenworth. It surprised me. Honestly, when I read the description, I was like a Bavarian-styled town in Washington State. I was expecting tacky. I was not super excited for it. But it was actually way cooler than I gave it credit for. The setting in the mountains certainly made it seem a little bit more authentic, and they got the most important thing correct, which is the pedestrian-centered downtown. That is the #1 differentiation between European and North American cities, in my opinion.
Yep, no drive-through there.
No drive-through.
We had a beer, we had a bratwurst, and off we go.
Off we go. It was really cool. I'm glad we stopped there. An interesting place.
And now, on with the road trip, rolling ever closer to Idaho and ever closer to the ability to make fresh water out of salt. The landscape here is dry and hot. Small towns appear and disappear in a matter of moments. The road stretches out long into the distance.
You remember back when what used to be here was a field underneath a blanket of stars where you and Donnie got high all the time. Here you don't have to be anyone else when the world doesn't go past the hand that you dealt. Don't you ever scream out to the sea. There's a brave new world beyond all these memories. Learn to be lost in an alien home where the food doesn't come from the markets, you know. Be ashamed that you don't speak the tongue.
Alright, we just drove past a pretty interesting looking motel, so we're going to pull in and see if they have any vacancy for the night.
In the end, you'll find yourself among kneeling resting. Shoulders out, chest out, sky in.
There we go.
Here, roadless and unsettled.
We weren't far now from the Idaho border, and the last few miles would be made the following morning. Now, time to find some dinner.
We found something.
Dinner tonight. It's the only place that's open in town. Sunday night, there is no food options other than the grocery store, so we got some microwave foods. We're about to make dinner.
Longing for some place to call your home. Your
Alright, ready to see dinner? Here's the reality. Aladino and I are spoiled brats when it comes to food. So, we just realized, never had a fully microwaved dinner, but that's about to change. We have home-style shredded beef tamales. They're wrapped in the corn husks, so that looks kind of cool. And then we have General Tso's spicy chicken. And we have some chicken egg rolls. And then, to wash it all down, 2 huge American beers. Let dinner commence. So apparently you leave it in the packaging.
Is there not even a plastic lid after you take out one lid
No.
to remove?
No, I looked at it. You leave
Okay.
it, you just
Alright,
leave the lid
alright.
on.
Could I add water? No.
That's all.
longing for some place to call your home. Forming silent shadows. Longing for some place to call your home. Yeah.
The next morning, we hit the road again. We stopped once because the car kept doing funny things, but we couldn't find anything glaringly obvious, and the car agreed to keep moving, so we did too.
In my opinion, the new Ford V8 is the most economical car on the market, says Branston Singley, grocer of Mangum, Oklahoma.
We just entered Idaho and we're actually gonna be there in about 10 minutes.
You silly savage.
So we have made it to Idaho. We just arrived and met with David and Kathleen. So guys, thank you so much. We're so appreciative of everything that you've done for us.
You're welcome.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about how the water maker came to be with you in Idaho, quite far from the ocean?
Kathleen's father had a big boat. He wanted to spend a lot of time on the ocean, so he got the water maker for that. But he didn't get to live long enough to install it, so that's where it came from.
Well, thank you. We're honored to continue its life and to install it on Magic Carpet, where it shall hopefully go far ways around the world and produce a lot of beautiful fresh water.
When you're drinking, you can think of us.
We will do.
Definitely.
David and Kathleen could not have been nicer or more generous, even taking us for lunch at Lake Coeur d'Alene, a beautiful lake with a lot of boats on it. A huge thank you to them, and we will certainly think of them every time we create fresh water on board Magic Carpet too. But before we knew it, it was already time to return to the coast.
All right, we are back on the road after meeting David and Kathleen. There is a brand new water maker in the car, and I also got a few fishing rods. So we're both over the moon.
Over the moon. I mean, I am always blown away at the kindness of people that we meet because of this YouTube channel, and holy moly, what a prime example right there. Like, it's just amazing. I mean, taking us out for lunch, I mean, it's just overwhelming. So David and Kathleen, thank you so much. It was worth the trip out to Idaho and more.
Oh, absolutely.
We would have driven to Montana for this, to New York.
Montana's
really.
right next door.
No, really, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
There's a saying in the West that a cowboy is a man with guts and a horse. This is the story of one. His name was Slim. Frontier Gentleman.
And so, once again, the road stretched out before us. Maddie the Mazda reluctantly but kindly continued to roll along it. And we kept going until our bellies rumbled and we pulled off at Cooley City for the night.
Herewith, an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
Bon appetit, Aladino.
Thanks.
We were on the homeward stretch now. In front of us once again lay the coast mountains, separating us from our boat.
I'm on my way home. I wanna laugh, I wanna cry, but gonna love you till I die. Oh, baby, I'm on my way home. I wanna dance, I wanna sing, I may hear the turtle. Oh, baby, I'm on my way home.
The day was warm, and we pulled off on some small road with a wild river rushing past. The trip was nearly over.
I'm on my way home. I'm on my way. Back you stay, baby. Look out.
A very, very highly successful road trip.
We have made it.
We have made it! So, Aladino, can you
Yes?
tell us a little bit about this water maker?
It is made by Katadin. I believe that's the brand now, though. This one is all branded Pure still. So I believe Pure was bought by Katadin. And when you get one of these now, they're exactly the same, but they have the Katadin logo on them. It's called the 160E. I'm amazed how compact it is, and I was blown away when we heard about this offer because it was much larger capacity. It would make a lot more water than the units that I was considering. Yeah, so it is pretty amazing. Still with a pretty low amp draw, and it makes a good amount of water.
So what's the amp draw and how much water does it
Which
make?
is 7 gallons an hour at drawing about 20 amps.
Okay,
That's the rough specs.
amazing. 7 gallons of water a day, if we run it an hour a day, that's pretty
7 gallons
great.
an hour.
I know, but if we run it an hour a day,
Yeah, totally.
that's great.
And it's super compact, in my opinion. Usually these membranes are a lot longer.
So everybody, a huge thank you for watching. This was one of the most fun episodes for me to make. I really wanted to make kind of an Americana style road trip episode, and I feel like some of the footage we got will really show off that portion of our journey. Although it was really funny. I set off with all these hopes of making an Americana road trip video, and then we end up in some Bavarian town. What is going on? But that's part of America as well. A place that comes from many different cultures. Anyway, it was a great trip. It was absolutely worth it, and good to be back. We are leaving America very shortly, and so I think the next episode you see from us will be the last one here before heading back to Europe and enjoying some sailing on Magic Carpet 1. And a bit more work, but also some sailing. So huge thanks for watching, huge thanks to our patrons for making this all possible. Your support goes so far in making this a reality. If you'd like to become a patron for as little as $2 a month, we publish real-time updates every Tuesday. And an extra big thanks to the folks whose names are now appearing on screen for always going the extra mile to make sure Magic Carpet keeps being produced. We will see you all next Friday.